Hello, my dear friends. Today we are going to discuss some of the very interesting facts about Indian rivers, and it is very important to know that these facts are very crucial for your important examinations and your competitive examinations, right? So, we will be discussing those. So, stay tuned and let's get started. So, we have got Ganga, which is known as the Padma River. Ganga is known as to be our Padma River when it enters in Bangladesh. So you people must have been knowing this, that your Ganga is called with different names when it enters into different areas. So here particularly we are talking about Bangladesh. So it is known as your Padma River. And talking about your Godavari river, it is also known as Dakshin Ganga, as I have discussed in the previous video. Then is your Chambal. So always remember one thing I would like to mention here for Chambal, that Chambal is basically originating from India and it is ending in India only. Alright, so there are many such rivers, but sometimes if it is asked out of some of the options that you get, so you can just always go by Chambal if it is present there. Then Chambal is probably the cleanest river in India. So they're using probably, right? So you should be very, aware of this thing, that it is probably the cleanest river in India, and people do not bathe in Chambal because there is a story behind it, that anybody who touches the waters of Chambal gets cursed. So जो भी उसके पानी को छुएगा उस बंदे को श्राप लग सकता है. So it is basically this, due to this myth, it has been left as a very clean river. Next is your Thamirabarani, which is the only perennial river in South India, right? So I'll be talking about perennial and annual later in the upcoming video. And the next thing is your longest bridge in India. Your longest bridge in India is your Bhupen Hazarika. You must be knowing that Bhupen Hazarika is your a famous playback singer. So basically on his name this bridge has been installed. So it is Bhupen Hazarika Bridge on your it is basically named as per your a famous playback singer. So it is built on Lohit River. On which river it has been built? It is built on your Lohit River, right? And then it's a tributary of Brahmaputra. You should be knowing when we have been talking about the tributaries. So it is a tributary of your Brahmaputra river, right? All right. Next thing is your that this bridge is also known as Dhola Sadia Bridge. It is also known as Dhola Sadia Bridge. See, here it is the longest bridge in India and also known as Dhola Sadia Bridge. Okay, and it is 9150 meters, right? So this bridge was inaugurated on 26th of May in 2017. Next we will be talking about Tehri Dam, which is there on your Bhagirathi, right? Tehri Dam is on your Bhagirathi river. So it is biggest, highest and tallest dam in India, and also it is the 8th highest dam in the world, also located in Uttarakhand. Okay, so what you have to remember, that your Tehri Dam is present on Bhagirathi, and it is the biggest, highest, tallest dam in India, and also 8th highest dam in the world. 8th highest dam in the world. Okay. Next thing is your the Ganga and the Brahmaputra together form the largest delta. See, I am going to get a separate video for your delta, estuaries, meadows, barrage, Okay, so wait for it. So here Ganga and Brahmaputra together form the largest delta in the world, which is your Sundarban Delta. You must have seen my previous video in which I have mentioned that Sundarban Delta is present in West Bengal. So you must be knowing this. Alright, let's move ahead. So this is your Bhupen Hazarika Bridge. Next is your most of the rivers in India flow from west to east direction to empty in the Bay of Bengal. As I have told you in the previous video also that all the rivers, most of the rivers flow into or empty into Bay of Bengal. Only a few like your Narmada, Tapi, Sabarmati river, they flow from east to west direction. You must be aware of this fact. And also we have also studied about your Indus river, which pours its water in Arabian Sea. Okay. Next is your two major rivers flowing in Rajasthan. One is your Luni and other is your Banas. One is Luni and other is Banas. See, okay, they have inland water drainage, that is they do not empty into the ocean but they get lost in the sand. So basically रेत के अंदर ही रेत के जो पार्टिकल्स हैं राइट उनके अंदर ही वो कहीं ना कहीं अंदर अपना पानी ड्रेन कर देती है और कहीं पर भी ना तो अरेबियन सी में और ना ही बे ऑफ बंगाल किसी में भी अपना वाटर जो है वो एम्प्टी नहीं करती है. सो इट इज़ बेसिकली इट हैज़ inland water drainage, which means that it does not empty into an ocean but it gets lost in the sand. Next, if we talk about the most polluted river in India, and you all must be knowing if you just go on from your Delhi side, so you must have seen Yamuna river. It is too dirty, like all the garbage that has been accumulated there. So it is most populated river in India. Then comes to your Indus, Jhelum, Ravi and Satluj. These are the rivers that originate in India but they flow into Pakistan. You must have been knowing this because I have discussed this in the previous video. And next is your Brahmaputra river. Okay, so you must be knowing one thing, that I will be just giving you 4 to 5 names of Brahmaputra only. So one of the name is your Yarlung Zangpo. That your Brahmaputra, when it is in China, it is known as Yarlung Zangpo in China, and if it is there in Arunachal Pradesh, it is known as Dihang, and when it is in Bangladesh, that is Bangladesh, it is known as Jamuna. So there are three different names for your Brahmaputra river. You must be knowing these. Next is your Brahmaputra is the 9th largest river in the world by discharge and the 15th longest. So you must be knowing that it is 9th largest, right? It is 9th largest river in the world by discharge. Okay, and it is 15th longest. Please remember this. And next is your Mahanadi. What is we are talking about is Mahanadi. So Mahanadi is basically used to be known as the distress of Odisha. See, as I have already told you in the previous video that your Koshi river is known to be your sorrow of Bihar. Similarly, your Mahanadi is your sorrow of Odisha. Okay, so because it causes a lot of floods in the state, the situation has been brought under control by building Hirakud Dam. So you must be knowing that, okay, Hirakud Dam is built on Mahanadi. So just to control and taking advantage for production of electricity, government has built Hirakud Dam on Mahanadi. So it is called as distress of Odisha. You can also say it as sorrow of Odisha. In the upcoming video, I will also be bringing to you about your dams and ports in India. Okay, so stay tuned now. Next is your Majuli. Majuli is a river island which is there in Brahmaputra in the state of Assam. So Majuli is known as the world's largest river island. So which is your world's largest river island is your Majuli. What is it? Majuli. Next is your Majuli Island. So it is the first island district in India. It was declared a district in 2016. It means in 2016, this Majuli Island has been given it has been declared as a island district. So it was the first island district in India. The next is your Yamuna is the longest tributary in India. You must be knowing that with when your Yamuna flows parallelly to Ganga, it meets at Ganga, right? The portion where I have told you about your Triveni Sangam and all, so it is known as to be the longest tributary. Like ultimately, it is flowing its water in Ganga only. Okay, so you also must be knowing that Godavari is the longest river in southern India. So in southern India, your longest river is Godavari. All right. So these were the facts, and now you have to learn this thing. I think it is the most important thing. It is always asked in paper. I mean, one of the question can be asked from here only, right? So let's just see this. So longest river, if we just talk about its lengthwise, so your longest river is your Nile. If we are talking in terms of world, so longest river is your Nile river. I think everybody knows this. It flows in Egypt, Africa. And then if I talk about a biggest river means like it's the longest river is lengthwise, biggest river is flow of water wise, like how much or what kind of capacity you can just correlate with. So it is your Amazon, which is present in South Africa. Amazon is really very diverse. Then in Europe, the longest river is Volga, right? So it is Volga. And your longest river of Asia is Yangtze, China, right? Then is your longest river of India, Ganga. Please remember this. Longest river of Asia, Yangtze. Longest river in India, Ganga. Longest river in the world, Nile. Longest river in the South India. Longest river of South India is Godavari, which is also known as your Dakshin Ganga. It is also known as your Dakshin Ganga. Alright. Then river which makes estuaries in India. So estuaries forming are Narmada and Tapti. And if I talk about Soro of Bengal, Soro of Bihar, Soro of Odisha, Soro of Bengal is a Damodar river. I have also mentioned this river there in the previous video. Then is your deepest river is your Bhagirathi. Deepest river is Bhagirathi, and the cleanest river is your Umangot river, which is there in Meghalaya, right? So basically like you must be confused here that here also they are talking about the cleanest river and they are giving the river to be from Meghalaya, and here you have told that the cleanest river is your Chambal. So there I already told you that it is probably the cleanest river because it is cursed. Okay, so there is a difference between the two. So whenever asked, you can also you can choose either of the option. If this is present, if this option is present, right? So go by this. Otherwise, you can always refer to your that Chambal river. Okay. So these were the interesting facts that I've talked about. So in the previous video, I actually had a limit of 30 minutes. I could not complete that video. If I just get a time and if time allows, I would be completing that video. And hopefully you have enjoyed it, and please stay tuned as I will be very regular with this posting of videos, since it is very important for me also and for you people also to learn. And actually it's an ocean. YouTube is an ocean of videos. You get so much of things, but what exactly you need to study, so you can always depend here, right? So signing off, it's Deepika Sharma, and we'll be meeting you in the next video. Thank you so much.